Ladies and gentlemen aboard, welcome aboard Trump Force One. I am your captain this evening. We're just getting our clearance and paperwork all in order here. We should start moving shortly, but before that, make sure you pay close attention to our lovely flight attendants and their safety presentation. Flight attendants will be preparing the cabin for takeoff shortly, and it is our pleasure to provide you only the best here on Trump Force One. Enjoy your flight and welcome aboard.
Okay, it's been an hour and the phone is on 67%.
We do need all electronic devices placed in airplane mode or sworn off anything over 2 pounds and please stowed away. Lieutenant, please arm radars and cross-check for Elizabeth. I'm going. Arm and check for pushback. This flight is a non-smoking flight that doesn't include electronic cigarettes, as well as charging those electronic cigarettes. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the aircraft laboratory. The federal aviation regulations require that all passengers comply with posted placards, lighted passenger information signs, and of course our favorite, alternative instructions. Covered by once again ensuring that your seatbelts are securely fastened. Seat backs and tray tables in a celebrate lock position on
Flight attendants, prepare the cabin for takeoff. Ladies and gentlemen, flying Trump Force One this evening, we welcome you to a special Friday flight and a show. Flying out of Dallas, Fort Worth International on our way to LAX in Los Angeles. Should be a smooth ride despite neglecting any of my mandatory retraining duties on account of previous accidents. But don't worry, I have my handy co-pilot Google, so you can rest assured I'll be trying my absolute best to land this 79-ton fully loaded A320neo safely down on the runway. Appreciate you being here. Kick back and relax. You're flying Mixstream.
I know my girlfriend is a witch. What a fate, a worshiper of magic for a date. But tonight I become a warlock just for spite. I know my girlfriend is a witch.
How you doing, everybody, on this fine Friday? Appreciate you being with me. This is your captain speaking, the American Anchor Baby. And we are just getting up to our cruising altitude of 38,000 feet. Flight level 380 should be smooth sailing once we get above some of these clouds over Dallas. We are flying out of Dallas Fort Worth International on our way to LAX in Los Angeles, like I just told you. and everybody here is on Trump Force One. We are flying Trump Force One today, so you know you only get the best today, and we love it. We appreciate it. Air marshals on board, so everybody on your best behavior. We got Birdie Bound Brian Carver. Thank you so much, Air Marshals, for keeping the peace on Trump Force One. So we're just getting situated here in the cockpit. We need to be speeding up. We need to be getting up to 38,000 feet. We need to bring back our thrust into the climb detent. We need to speed on up to around here. I think that's good. Check the computer. We are on the line, on the path, almost at the last leg of our departure route out of Dallas-Fort Worth International. What a beaut of a flight it's going to be. We got plenty of in-flight entertainment today. Plenty of it. We got plenty of it to get to. And, of course, your calls. We'll be taking calls as we do on these Friday shows. So don't forget that you could call in if you want to get something off your chest, something you want to say. You could call 844-900-2229. That's 844.
Ready to connect.
Oops.
Click
844-900-2229. That's 844-900-BABY. We're all connected. We're on our way up. Flight attendants will be coming down to get you your pretzels. And they're really nice pretzels, okay, because it's Trump Force One. So don't worry. They'll be coming down. So we got to get up to cruising altitude first. So, yes, everything is going well, I think. Yes. Beautiful stuff. So everybody on board, appreciate it. You're enjoying Trump Force One economy class. And we're flying. What do we say here? I'm streaming on Rumble, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola, and of course punchy.tv. PUNCHIE.TV, our very own platform, folks. You want to be following it. You want to be on it. Make an account. So what else here? On our way up to 38,000 feet, we want to begin by welcoming the first of the first class super chatters. The very first of the ballers. You know what it is. You know what it is. Yes. Some of you want to enjoy a first class life, okay? And what's great about this first class life is that in this room, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, male or female. Okay, hold on. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, male or female. There is only baller or not a baller. And we appreciate David Morgan for supporting the show. Appreciate your super chat, little dancing lemon guy, enjoying the tunes. We appreciate 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 for being a top contributor over there on DLive. So, fellas, please make your way. There's plenty of room for all of you to sit in the Ballers Lounge. Look, it's nice and luxurious. There's bottomless drinkies and snackies, way more than those pretzels in the back. But it's fine all over. Okay, so appreciate you being here. Supporters of the stream, appreciate the super chats and all that. And for being a baller, okay? It's the best. Whoa, hold on. We got Birdie Bound Brian, who is not only an air marshal, but is also a baller. He says, have you ever seen a glizzy that had too much going on, or is there even such a thing? Brioche bun overload or a neatly packed potato bread piece? I want to see the glizzy equivalent of this. We need the glizzy equivalent of, what are they called? Hold on. They're called Caesars in Canada, but they're called something else everywhere else. Bloody Marys. Bloody Mary. What is the glizzy equivalent of this? Out of control Bloody Marys with lobster tails, whole burgers on them. What is this? And how do we do that with hot dogs? Whole pieces of, look at this, is a whole chick. This is an actual whole chicken. No, this is out of control. This is an actual whole chicken on top of a Bloody Mary. Okay, now we're talking. We got a bunch of these in the front and in first class for Trump Force One. We got ridiculous, epic Bloody Marys, and they could be virgin if you want, and out of control glizzies. Okay, thank you for being a baller, Birdie Bound Brian and everybody else. Make your way to the Ballers Lounge, okay, right away. No dilly-dallying. Stretch your legs like a baller should. All right, y'all. Appreciate you being here. Let me say hello to the people. This is your captain speaking, the American Anchor Baby. I appreciate you being here. What's up, He Black? Him Diddy. You know, He Black, maybe there could be one other person, and this is not encouragement. Maybe there could be another person in the chat that can type in all caps. Mike is messed up. Test. Mike, check. Am I coming in? What's going on? Chat's telling me Mike is messed up. Echo coming in static. How could it be? Like it just happened. It was okay before and it just happened? Dang. How about now? Test. How about now? At the camera switch, right? Yeah, I had a camera audio. Something going on here. Funky stuff, but I am your captain speaking. And, hold on. We got a phone. We got phones going. Don't let that ruin your immersion. There are no phones here. We're in a plane right now. You can't call us. Wait, did they say that people called during 9/11? I don't know anything about that. Maybe you can make a call up here. I don't know. Don't they have earphones? But where was I? We're rambling. We're preambling. I'm telling He Black. He may be the only other person allowed to type in all caps in the chat because, well, he is black after all. So appreciate, yell at DJ Darren. How you doing? Harmony David. Who's your bear? Kevin Howe. Pablo Carver. Appreciate it. Gaze for a wreck. Alias name. The new guy who remains new. Thank you for being here on this new flight. Him Diddy Galahad. Terry, how you doing, Terry? Nice to see you. Who are you? Is in my chat. Who are you? Z. John Siri. Thank you so much, everybody. A man. There is a man in my chat. And, of course, Bob Dillo. Right on, yo. Droppo. Look, everybody, welcome. Hope you all enjoyed the Fallen State episode with Tommy Chong and Jesse Lee Peterson. What a nice little episode. Tommy Chong, he wants to stay in hell. He learns more in it. Hey, whatever. He has a better time in it. It was a funny episode, okay? Tommy Chong. Hey, what's up, Big Bump? Welcome. Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome. Thanks for flying Nick Stream. Z with the super chat says, did Trump start doing cavity searches or something? Well, I can neither confirm nor deny your question, but you can make your way to the Ballers Lounge. Z, make your way to the Ballers Lounge, and on your way there, bring with you the lovely Terry Strange, for she too is a baller today. She says, need an upgrade, please. It's ghetto and coach. Don't worry, girl. Let's get you out of there. It's a freaking jungle back there sometimes, even on Trump Force One. So make your way to the Ballers Lounge where there is neither male nor female, only ballers. All right, so what else here? Everybody's welcomed. Where were we? Ladies and gentlemen, on our way to LAX. Should be a nice flight. 844-900-2229. I see calls coming in. And we have a show. We do have a show. What's up, Lord Spike Protein? Thank you. We, in fact, have a show. Plenty of in-flight entertainment we haven't got a chance to get into. Yesterday, we were chilling in the lab on the Discord. Join the Discord. We're having our movie night soon. And, all the viewer content is nice. And we were doing some of that yesterday. Link is in the chat if you want to join in. Camera quality looks great. Thank you for that. I got it working. Hopefully it doesn't stop working. I don't know. These past few streams, I got to figure some stuff out. Find the time to do some testing and all that. I want a Bloody Mary with chicken, says Kevin Howe. You could get a whole chicken, a burger. Some of these Bloody Marys are nuts. So, Trump Force 1. Is that everything? Yeah, we were doing Discord. Chilling in the lab yesterday. Be part of the Discord. People are always talking in there. It's fun stuff. I'm getting in there too, and we're gonna be creating the lab, moderating. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And what else? What else? Yeah, we were just doing that and had some great calls. Talked about a bunch of stuff, really. Race mixing, life is fun. What's up, new guy? But yeah. We never got a chance to. Not that I really want to discuss it, but kind of wanted to go off this topic, off the Kamala interview with Brett Baer. You know, she was on with Fox the other day. It was pretty bad. Some were saying she got cooked like an Indian brisket. Depends on who you ask. And it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Look, you're gonna have the people who they're gonna support no matter what. In fact, you're gonna get the people who probably feel. I bet you that there are a whole bunch of women who see Kamala writhing around, defenseless, almost begging Brett Baer not to do what he's about to do. Meaning, like, destroy her with words, like in a debate, in a interview. Really, just ask her pretty simple questions and see her flounder. But I'm telling you, I bet you there's a whole bunch of women who see her, and they see her and her face and see her clearly out of her element, and they're like, "Oh, I feel bad for her. I can't believe they're doing this to her. I'm gonna vote for her. It's just time." You know what I mean? The feeling bad for her will actually solidify some of her votes to help you understand a little bit of the mentality, in my opinion, of the voters behind her, because she has voters. That's what's crazy. And I was saying the election was closer than most think, closer than most say, but I mean lately it's looking like a blow up. But you know how looks could be deceiving. So we're going to have a wait and see attitude. We're going to have a full on election night stream. Okay. I want to see what we can do once we get closer to that date. What's election night? We're like 17 days away now. We're going to do a full on election night stream that day. Okay. I want to do it as early as possible. And hopefully even the secret side project will be done. And we'll really be streaming then. So, before I continue any moment further, before I dare say another word about anything other than this, can we please... You see this big old chair in the middle? You see all these chairs with a lot of leg room in the Baller's Lounge, and it's all snazzy. And there's one special chair here right in the middle. It's the big chair. And it's got a big old indentation in it. And it fits the bottom of Lord Spike Protein, who constantly is the owner of said chair, the prime baller seat. And we do appreciate, man, Lord Spike Protein, man. Thank you so much for being so generous with your super chat. Please make your way, park it, bud. Park it right down there in the prime baller seat. The prime baller. Thank you so much, Lord Spike Protein. What a Chad. Thank you so much. All right. So let's see here. We got all of our P's and Q's. We're all set. Where was I? Kamala. Hey, Adkuf calling in from Australia. If you want to call in, 84 I don't know if you can call internationally to this number that's on the screen, 844-900-2229. But if you can't, if that number does not work, you could call me through the internet. Okay, so try this link I'm putting in the chat, or go to www.callinstudio.com/show/anchor baby. It's a way to call in the show, through the internet. So thank you out of Australia watching the show. Appreciate it. We should take a flight down under one of these days. Some say there is no down under. Some say it doesn't exist. So, yeah, thank you. Add Q or I don't know how to pronounce that. Just rambling a bit on election business. Not really even election. I'm just remembering that interview with Mamala. They call her Mamala. What a mess. Mamala. It's crazy. Now they got the black men not voting for her, and they're panicking. It's crazy. It's amazing to see. It's amazing. And I see calls coming in. I will get to you, but allow me to get to this. We never got to it on Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. We never quite got to it. There's this. Speaking on the men, by the way, on that topic, black male voters and even men in general. Men voting for Democrats has been getting just worse and worse and worse. This rift between men and women politically continues to grow. You have the men, especially the young men, Zoomers, etc., increasingly bending towards Republican, Trump, etc., and the women increasingly towards it does look like I have a beauty filter on, don't I? I don't know how this happened. It wasn't quite. Is that a beauty filter? Sony ZV-E10. Don't distract me, chat. Where was I? I'm looking Asian. I'm looking Asian pretty. The increasing rift. Okay, they're going this way. The men are going right wing. They're going Republican, conservative, and the women. The rift continues, and they're trying for this election. They're trying to get these male voters. They call them white dudes for Harris. Black men. Obama scolding the black men, telling them, "Oh, you gotta. You see, American people and Puff Daddy aren't voting for me. We're not seeing the same that like stopping Obama staccato way he speaks, telling the black men that I think you guys hate women. I think you guys hate women. He tells them. Like as if hating women is not I mean as if being a woman, I'm messing around, is not plenty reason enough not to vote for a leader, especially a president. I mean, these are men you're talking to, Obama, not mama's little boy. At least that's how it's supposed to be. So they got these videos coming out now. They're talking about white dudes for Harris. They got these videos out. And they're trying to target these male voters. Targeting male voters. Let's see their strategy. Let's see some of their. Where do they put out their money towards to create such propaganda or whatever, like campaign videos, advertisements? We're gonna watch it. You make your own decision. But this is not a skit. This is not a joke. This is a real ad. Meant to help Kamala's male voters. Help Kamala with male voters. I want you to see this. I want you to see this as the whole topic builds itself. The whole men, Democrats, they're trying their best here with the men, the black men. So they're targeting male voters here. I want you to see this so we can get right. We can dive right in, okay? We're going to do calls. We're going to do everything. We're going to do it all, folks. We got plenty of show for today. But you got to see this. Male voters, I'm sure many of you maybe already saw this.
I'm a man.
I'm a man. Sorry, hold on. We got to back that up.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough. I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of.
Women.
Oh!
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you
Shout
want.
out, childless
Woman
cat
wants to
ladies.
be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of
I don't know what that is, but this is your men? Wait, hold on. Why did he say it like
I'm
that?
afraid to rebuild a carburetor. I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I
eat carburetors for breakfast. That's how he said that.
Afraid to rebuild a carburetor. I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Breakfast. I eat carburetors for breakfast.
my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough
That's not manly.
to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
You don't understand the value of silence. Raw dog a flight. You know, when you take a whole flight, you don't have any entertainment. People started doing that by accident, and then became a meme where they go out and they take a whole flight with no entertainment, and it has like callbacks to like some kind of, there's like some stoicism coded into that meme. But yeah, I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. So forgetting totally ignoring the aspect of silence. Anyways, just
Not
watch
worth
this.
it.
We're almost done.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
Oh
My
no!
kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Goodwill Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering.
If it's so manly, why do you gotta add? When they say something feminine that they're not afraid of being, they gotta add something manly next to it to ease the pain. Ease the pain. Don't spam, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔. Don't spam. I haven't gone to calls yet. Don't spam. Appreciate the patience. If that's you on hold, just hold on, okay? I'll get to you. Don't spam the chat, all right? Be nice. Air marshals. Air marshals. Watch this.
Belittling and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Man enough. This psyop of being man enough, I've been hearing it since high school. Like, I'm man enough to wear a dress. I'm man enough to paint my nails. It has like, it must like make sense to certain men, especially younger guys maybe, because there's some instinct there that manhood is beyond the outside or something like that. But they got told that by other women to go around saying, to then take the joke too far. I'm going to be Harry Styles or whatever that guy is. Wear a dress. Is this... Okay. This person calling me is, I think, that guy from the other day. He must have found another number. Bye-bye. I can see your carrier and where you're calling me from, man. I know it's you. So I'm not taking your call. Wear a dress. Da-da-da. Look, it seems like they're really making fun of men. If you think about it, they're really making fun of men in the whole video. They're ridiculing them. They're totally ridiculing them. And there is a type of guy, though, and there's a type of guy and voter that would see that and agree with that. Agree with making fun, really, of the whole idea of being afraid to not seem manly. But in most cases, guys like this that are actually ridiculing the whole concept of manhood, when they're making these kinds of jokes, what I'm trying to say is when they're making these kinds of jokes, they're actually ridiculing the very concept of manhood itself. And the source of that is pretty sick. See, males like that have the spirit of their mothers, okay? Emotions are their guide. What feels good, what seems good, just like all the female voters. They're no different. And the thing is, the women also taught them that thinking, that thinking differently, that thinking like some of these men they're making fun of means you're afraid. Now, they came up with that, the women did. Homophobic. You're afraid of gay. You're afraid of all. You're a transphobic. All these phobics. so they're ridiculing the whole concept, but it's also like a cope in that they're ridiculing something they don't understand. Here's what's not the joke. What's not a joke in this whole video and all that is all this Ron Swanson. Who's this guy? What am I thinking of? Right? Ron Swanson with the mustache, whiskey, barrel whiskey and steaks. I have a frumpy face and I eat steaks. I'm Ron Swanson and I have plaid and a mustache. You know, that level of man stuff, any concept of manhood that they do have, if they have any of it at all, it really does amount to just these things. To whiskey. Which is pretty gay if you ask me. Because think about it. Then you can change that. It means you can basically be trans. Because then you could change that. You could change the whiskey for lipstick. So it's pretty gay, if you ask me. You know, all those things are not manliness. Look, and when it comes down to it, the truly evil thing about it all is the guys ridiculing manhood and just like, haha, whiskey, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. How do I put this? They're not gonna stand up to anything. True destruction, war, the enemy within. When it comes down to it, these people will fall to anything. They are the broken gates that let in evil into the family, into America, into the homes. Really, they're the products of their their mothers and their families where it had already happened. But the very same, these men will fall to all of their darkest parts of human nature. They can't stand up to it because to them manhood is like the whiskey and all this. All those gritty. The funny thing about that is all those gritty, physically gritty, manly things like guns and whiskey, and they're that way because they're trying to exemplify or to call back to something deeper, tied with the immaterial concepts of manhood, resilience, toughness, right? And you can't get that from whiskey. You know, masculinity and having it, all that, you know, it's deeply, deeply tied with overcoming our dark human nature. That is at the core of masculinity. Deeply tied with overcoming our dark human nature and being on that path forever. You know, you got these guys calling the shows, the networks, they said, Trump, 34 felonies. They'll call themselves Republican even. They'll call themselves Republican on the side of right. They'll call themselves Christian. But they see some headline from this evil world about 34 felonies. I'm not going to vote for a felon. I'm not going to vote for a felon. It's all surface, all outside stuff. That's all what people think about. And that's not that's how women think. That's the whatever not masculine is. You understand? That's that other way of thinking. And it's not progress. You know, they call it progress. It's actually very old, okay? Women run societies. This is a very primitive thing. Or the longhouse, something I heard the other day. I don't know too much about that. But look, I'll tell you this. Guess what? They didn't last. I'll tell you that much. A man is pure love. I'll keep this part brief. So to not speak on something, you know how it is when you bloviate about something. It's because you don't really know it. And I'm not saying I'm keeping it brief because I know it. I'm just telling you. I mean, I've seen it. A man's pure love. I've seen it. It is so manly to have no judgment. To see that. I've seen that. I've seen it. No judgment. And it's so manly to be untouched. Go read the If poem. I don't know what to tell you. And the guys, you know, we go around getting emotional. We think the manhood and masculinity is all this stuff, or we fall for the female trick, which is a power grab. Okay, equality. There is no masculinity is just whiskey, and that's a power grab, fellas. Okay, it's a bait and switch. Once you let this may not make any sense because now I'm kind of rambling, but once you let go of the power, what the heck is power, right? What am I talking about? They grab it. It's a bait and switch. A man is pure love, not that emotional love. Passed down by mama. I'm thinking of that JLP song. When men can repent, men can repent. Only then, when the man change, the family change, then our society will change. The power's in the man. Anyways, the power's in the man. Satan knows it. Coming after it. It's crazy. And we got the black male voters. I mean, this clip is just too delicious. It's just too delicious.
A lot of voters. And I will just say that you texted me right around the Democratic convention, and you said, I am talking to people, and Kamala Harris has a problem with black men.
Yeah, and I told the campaign I did not hear from them. I mean, who am I for them to get back to me? But there's a problem. And look, I went from battleground state to battleground state. When they invited me to the convention, I didn't just want to fly there. I said, I'm gonna go and talk to voters in battleground states, and I did. It was not curated. I went up to people just doing man on the street. I said, who are you going to vote for? Black men. And time after time after time, they said, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Why?
Now, their reasons why. They said, because most of the time they said, well, you know, for economic.
Who cares? Yeah, economic reasons. And then Don Lemon says something like, well, that's fine. They can vote for whoever they want, but they should be informed, you know. The stimulus checks, actually, that was from Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats and blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? So that's the story, folks. The power comes through the man. It's not going to work any other way. Should we do some callers? I wanted to get to more of this, some of this mess. Adjudicated sexual assaulters. You know how I love defending them. Those all. I'm like, I came for the Vince McMahons. I came for the Diddy's, the Weinsteins. I came for, I don't know what kind of bit this is. It's like quasi Jesus. Like, I came for the sexual assaulters. I came for, you know me. I want to defend another sexual assaulter. What they called him that, you know, adjudicated even. But maybe we should get to a call first. I appreciate you holding. I believe this is John. How you doing, John?
You believe wrong, nigger. I'm the captain of this.
How does this guy get through? How do I? Let me ban him. Ban this caller. Ban this caller. Banned with another number. I guess it's like Google's. We got another caller here. What's your name?
Oh, sorry. Hold up.
Oh, this is Terry.
It's Terry in Oregon. I'm sorry.
Terry, do you need a moment? Are you in the bathroom?
No, I got it. No. Gosh, what do you think of me?
No, I'm role playing. I'm not like bathroom for real, but like bathroom on the plane. So I felt like it was okay to say.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like virtual.
Yes, I got it.
Hey, Terry, what's up?
Yeah, well, I was inspired to call because you were talking about the power of men and also like I don't know. I had something I wanted to run past you and see what you thought about it.
Hit me.
Regarding like society. Okay. So it came to me that matriarchal societies is like man in its fallen state. And then patriarchal societies represent, you know, mankind in our higher state and, you know, in our elevated God state.
Oh,
and,
hold on.
I think, you know, they're trying to turn society into
darn.
obviously a matriarchal one.
Okay. Can you repeat the last thing you just said?
They're trying to make society more matriarchal, and it has been going that way. And it's part of what I think is leading to the degeneration of people, because the further we go down that route, the more people aren't in their, you know, kind of they're not in their higher state. You know, they're in their lower state, the fallen state.
I'm following.
When people are doing what's right and following God's path, then society naturally just turns more patriarchal because people are being responsible.
That's my general impression. put it like this. It's like you need dad to lead for it to be for it to make sense. But even dad leading could be a mess.
Yeah.
But with mom leading, it'll never work. It's like with mom leading, it'll never work.
Yeah,
with dad leading, you have a chance.
It'll be. I mean, you'll survive if mom, but like, it may not be, ideal. And I also think the more we kind of go towards this matriarchal route, I see like the situation getting worse between men and women because there's this lack of just connection. I mean, so many generations of broken homes, and just I see how it's totally contributed. And it's all just about the fact that society has weakened men and empowered women.
That is so. I'm trying to. I want to give you an example. I want to add to what you're saying, Terry, because it's true, and you want to come up with examples, But look, just look at all the guys in the chat. Just look at yourselves. Just look at. Maybe we got the alphas. Maybe the alphas are here, but look. I was talking with Maze the other day. She was beating me up. Okay, she was beating me up, and but she agreed with me. Raising mama's boys is a mess, and that's what mothers do. And that's such. It seems like a small thing. It seems like a small thing, but when the cornerstone of a building is wrong, the whole thing is crooked, and the mama's boys leads to absolute destruction.
Yeah, and I think also just either way, like if there isn't the male presence around, if it's not and it's not in a position of leadership, you're going to see things go wild.
Absolutely.
We really need that. Women, off the rails.
Well, yeah. And why do you think that is? You'd say.
Because I think we're more susceptible to our emotional side. Our animal side is stronger, I think, maybe. Men have more of that kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it's easier for men to like tap into that, but maybe it is. It's part of masculinity, is being more aligned with the right brain.
I think you said a fact.
So I think it's biological.
I'm sorry, please.
I think it's spiritual. I think it's so many parts. Men and women are just different. And I'm not like, it's not that I don't think women could or should, have positions or work or, achieve things, but I don't, or that I'm against them necessarily being in a position of leadership, but I just see like that should come naturally. It should be something that isn't, enforced. It should be something that's coming out of the life of the individual from their own achievement, just like any other human being.
No,
and I think
Terry, I put it like
women
this.
have been really puffed up.
Puffed up, bingo. Look, I'll put it like this, because you talk about facts. You're saying I guess my opinion too, but I think you're right. I think you're essentially right. You're just speaking on these truths that women are more emotional. It's even in the Bible. It goes back to something spiritual. But I wouldn't say that that's why. I forgot how you put it, but why women are so out of control. That's what we were talking about. I wouldn't even say that that's why, because they're the weaker vessel, or that may all be true, but that's not even why. The reason that they're out of control is simply for one simple reason: they're angry. They've been angry for a while, and they're just getting worse in their anger. Like all people who have in their anger get worse, and their women's anger is justified. They're told that their problems are due to others, that this patriarchal world is trying to take away your rights and take away your bodily autonomy, they call it. It really is. I'm starting to see that's very little to do. That what I'm saying is that that's just that physical carnal nature that too can be overcome. So we don't have to wallow in, especially you Terry, and the people here in this chat. We're we've gotten an interesting education, so we don't have to wallow in this, in that human nature anymore. We don't have to call ourselves beta anymore. We don't have to say, well, I'm just the weaker vessel. Women are just simply angry, and they can repent like men.
Yes, that's probably a better thing to say anyway. You shouldn't be calling yourself weak.
Right.
I mean, you should acknowledge your
agree.
limitations, but to speak we're so trained to speak evil over ourselves, and
Big time.
I think.
It's like the only problem is they're mad. And they're hateful. They hate men.
Yes.
And when you hate, you bring hell on your life. Absolute hell.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. It's like when the women say, I get a period though, and every month I get hormonal. It's like, that may be true. That may be a true thing and all that, but that's not why, you're having trouble with emotions or having blah blah blah. It's just anger.
Right, and maybe that's a time when women should rest.
Absolutely.
I think that's something to women, like, really push themselves beyond the point. They don't really acknowledge their frailty. So, they're doing all these things. They're stressing themselves out, and they can't, when their body shifts, dramatically every month, they kind of they're not connected to their bodies most of the time because they have to be in their head. And then, I think, this is part of how, the workforce is difficult and why it's so challenging on women, and why they get so crazy, Speaking from my experience and what I've seen watching my friends, over the years working, it's tough. Women get we're just, we have these cycles, and we try to do more than we physically can sometimes. And then,
Interesting. I like that we're talking
like
about
you
this.
don't, like,
women
aren't even acknowledging that they're, physically going through something, and they're not in their bodies, and they're angry. So they're just connected from the fact that they need to, not be in that state to even take care of themselves.
Stuff to smoke on, Terry. Ladies,
man,
you can overcome too, just like the men. You don't have to be subject to all this. There's only one problem: is hating.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally.
Cool.
Female nature. It's an interesting thing, A lot of people wouldn't be happy hearing that or hearing what you're saying. That they're closer to.
Why wouldn't I be happy?
Women are
true.
closer to emotions and all the things you're saying.
Well, yeah, we have to be more animal than I think men do.
Why do you think that is?
Because we have to bring forth life.
Oh.
So we have to be in that kind of, we have to be more like the animals because we have to nurture children.
Interesting.
It's physically built into us. We are we have to identify with our bodies so much more than our minds and other aspects of ourselves, and we have to be in our body in a different way than
I've never
men
heard
do,
that.
I think. Well, what do you think of it?
I don't know.
I think that's true. I think that's why we're in our more animalistic emotional state, and why it's not. I don't think it's harder for women to overcome, but it's just a different type of overcoming. And even men who aren't connected to God, they don't have the same kind of men who are. Men can have logic and reasoning, to a certain point that women kind of need to be really focusing on their connection with God, in order to achieve
the same logic.
Yeah.
You're there the moment you stop with the thoughts. You're there. You're I can't. Look, maybe I'm wrong, folks. Tell me where I'm wrong, but we're talking with countless people, watching it myself. It seems like this logic you're talking about, it's simply a matter of that, like the moment you're out of your head. It's like that easy.
So I don't know. I think there's some physical differences that are part of that. But, you know, every human being has a different thing to overcome. And yeah, I think it does start with, you know, not being in your head and just living with what's in front of you.
Can you describe some of these different things that people have to overcome?
I know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's not different. I think people are angry about different things, maybe, but ultimately they have to overcome anger. Yeah. And just listening to their emotions and their thoughts too much.
Amazing. You're getting the brain juices flowing. Some of these things I've never heard, so they're going to be smashing around in my head and creating new ideas, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about, Terry. No, I haven't heard some of this. Pretty good. Call me again, Terry.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye. (844-900-2229). Incredible. We are flying an A320neo. This is not Boeing. This is in fact an Airbus, European made. They're starting to beat out Boeing. You know, Boeing's on a strike. Their planes are basically falling out of the skies. That might not be true. That I'm just joking. Don't sue me. But Boeing's not doing so hot. We're flying an Airbus A320neo through the skies. European made. They're beating out Boeing lately. They made more planes than Boeing last year, I believe. Incredible. 844-900-2229. Adjudicated. Spell it. Adjudicated. Spell it. Spell it. Adjudicated sexual assaulter. You see this? Speaking of men, women, and even female-minded men, no less. Even female-minded men. Speaking of that, you ever heard the name Natasha Stoyanov? Natasha Stoyanov. You ever heard the name, what's this guy's name? George Conway. Here's a female-minded man for you. See, here's what happens when you're female-minded, folks. If you don't want to be a female, look, the outside eventually represents the inside. You can't hide forever. Okay? You can't hide forever. And this is what happens when you're a female-minded man. Your edges become very soft. You become, and I'm talking about like your actual body in this case. you just become like soft. Your features soft. You get fat. You take pictures where you're holding your wife's coat and you look, I don't know, like her butler in the background. You look, you raise a daughter that is kind of out of control. And the mother has a big part to play in this. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you about George Conway because he's got his little psychopath, right? Anti-psychopath pack. Anti-psychopath pack is dedicated to highlighting Donald Trump's mental instability. That's one thing. That's one line of attack. That's great. Like that, you have to be a woman to go there with that line of attack. Like, no, Trump is just mentally ill. You have to be. He's like sharp, working hard, doing all these rallies, doing all this stuff. One thing you can't say is that he's mentally ill. But to be such a misogynist, to be so manly, they won't call it manly though. To be all the things that he is, you gotta be mentally ill. What do you mean you say the truth? What do you mean you say the truth with no fear? You gotta be mentally ill. What do you mean you don't mind bothering people and offending them and you have to be mentally ill. So this is his anti-psychopath pack, and they went down low. Not like Trump hasn't had it before. Okay, people been going low. They've been going low. Remember, 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. What a joke of a case. What an absolute... If justice wasn't already destroyed before 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, it found a new low. An incredibly new low, where the standard of evidence to adjudicate, to say that Trump is an adjudicated sexual assaulter, the standard of evidence is the grab them by the tape, where he was not lying and was talking about consent. They let you, he said. They let you. And that's not evidence of anything. And they use that as evidence in front of a jury. So that they could say, I mean, when you're doing like a rape and a sexual assault thing, I don't care what I said to some guy in some locker. Show me the evidence I did something to this person in this case. That's crazy. But they didn't care about that. This is another one of these people, Natasha Stoyanov, with some hate, blame, and victimhood. And I will get to callers 844-900-2229. Natasha Stoyanov, together with the anti-psychopath pack and George Conway. What a mess. Check this out.
My name is Natasha Stoyanov. In 2005, I went to interview Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. At one point, Melania went upstairs to change her clothes for the next photo shoot. And Trump said to me, I want to show you this beautiful painting, this beautiful room. He leads me to this room, pushes me against the wall, and starts kissing me forcefully. I tried to push him. He kept coming back at me. I was in shock and smothered, and he had his hands here against my shoulders. I felt sick inside. I felt horrified. And thank goodness the butler charges into the room. Like many women, I blamed myself. So Trump turned to me and said, we're going to have an affair.
I've never understood that. I blame myself. She's like a grown woman. Some guy, even if married or whatever, made a move on you. I blame myself. I've never understood that. It's a guy he's a man making a move on you. Like, let's not make it a big deal.
So Trump turned to me and said,
if this even happened,
to me and said, we're going to have an affair, don't you? And Melania was approaching. I was horrified.
That's called Riz, Natasha.
Approaching. I was horrified. When the Access Hollywood tape came out, and also stories of many other women, including 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, I realized I was not to blame. That
see, teaming up with 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, what a joke.
He was just a predator of women.
So far, she's just described him trying to, just hitting on her, and she didn't, or whatever. And she's only saying this now. She didn't say anything back then. She didn't make a big stink back then. What's going on?
Have happened if the butler had not come into the room. Donald Trump is an adjudicated sexual assaulter. We cannot elect this man as president.
He's an adjudicated sexual assaulter. See, people will see this. There's people who see this and they're like, well, let me Google it. Huh. Well, there really was a court and adjudication. There's activists in our court system. These are full-on activists. They don't care about justice. They hate Trump. A man who's done what? What has he done? 34 felonies. You know, you'll ask people like, whatever, callers on the networks, people like Maze. We love Maze. I love you, Maze. You stop beating me up. You keep beating me up. You know, callers like Maze and stuff, they'll be like, but it's 34 felonies. And it's like, let's peel it back. Let's peel it back. What's so bad that he has to get 34 felonies? Oh, you know, the documents and you know, he broke the law. It's such a joke.
And not elect this man as president.
Look at this picture. Yeah. Look at this psychopath. You get him.
Not elect this man as president.
Let's go.
𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒑 Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What an alpha male. But it's such a joke. Trump accused her. Now she's doing the rounds, and this might be a little old. So this might be a little old, but she's doing the rounds on these MSNBC.
Anti-psychopath pack features Natasha Stoynoff, the People magazine reporter who accused Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her when she visited his Mar-a-Lago resort in 2005 to interview him and his new wife, Melania.
My name is Natasha Stoynoff. In 2000 room and...
Well, hold on. I feel like there was something interesting Natasha or Joy Reid says here, so let's watch.
Syndrome, and called the ad another sad, desperate attempt by Kamala's cronies.
That is actually that is not our runway. Sorry, I'm clicking like a zoomer. I'm clicking everything like a zoomer. Hold on. But I just wanted to make a joke. No, that is not our runway. That is Joy Reid's forehead. All right, now we got an ad. What a mess. What a mess. Her wig fell off. Prove it, lady.
My TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want and have hundreds of free channels.
Sling lets you do that too, Mr. Fish.
Sorry, it's an ad. It's an ad. Does she know she's an ad? Does she know? Does she know she's an ad?
Natasha Stoynoff and George Conway, president and executive director of the Anti-Psychopath Pack and co-host of the George Conway Explains It All podcast. Thank you both for being here. I do want to go to you first, Natasha, because you are a journalist. Because you're a journalist, you're part of what you do professionally is observe. And so as you observed Donald Trump then and you observed him now, would you describe him as a predator? Would you describe him as somebody who you feared might actually sexually assault you as he did E. Jean Carroll? Tell me in that moment what you feared the end game was had that butler not intervened.
I never thought of him as a predator at that time. And that's why I was fine to be in a room alone with him. But it occurred to me after the incident that was the first time I was ever in the room alone with him.
Natasha, you obviously didn't get the memo. What do they say? She didn't know the assignment. Natasha, Joy Reid set you up for a home run. You're supposed to say, yeah, he was a predator back then, and he's a predator now. And she set you up for the home run. You know, she's just a lady. She's just a lady journalist, Natasha. She has some of her instincts are still to, you know, not lie. It's ladylike, right? She looks like she may come from maybe an even older generation. There's some decency. Maybe her instinct is, all right, I'm going to be honest about the things I'm going to be honest about. And she didn't get the assignment, accidentally says the truth, which is good. But what I'm trying to say, you follow me here? Joy Reid's like setting her up for her to totally destroy his character. And she ends up destroying her own case. And no court will care. No MSNBC won't care. They won't point this out. They won't care about that. But Natasha Stoynoff here destroys her own case and says, oh, no, he was never a predator back then. It's just that years later, I realized he was. What?
After the incident, that's why I was fine. Never
listen one more time.
Sexually assault you would you describe him as somebody who you feared might actually sexually assault you as he did E. Jean Carroll? Tell me in that moment what you feared the end game was had that butler not intervened.
I never thought of him as a predator at that time.
See?
And that's why I was fine to be in a room alone with him. But
why were you fine with that?
It occurred to me after the incident that was the first time I was ever in the room alone with him. I interviewed him several times, but had always been surrounded by publicists.
Incredible. But no court's going to care about that. Nobody's going to care about that. We'll get to calls here. Thank you, 844-900-2229. Nobody will care about that. I promise you. It's a bit of a look. The negative effects from all this is way worse than women, white dudes for Harris, and all those guys are really even know to admit. Because let me explain to you something here. I mean, you must know by now. I was trying to tell you earlier. The gate that holds back evil, the men in their weakened state, are now, continuing to allow, worse and worse ideas and bad actors and institutions in the lives of your families. This is the institution that raises tomorrow's Americans. And what's happening is society, how do I put it? Just basic kind of pillars that we don't even think about. That just a lot of assumptions. You have a lot of assumptions about the world you live in. Like, the city is safe, the streets are safe in America. These are some of these things and assumptions we don't think about, and how it was maintained. Like, it's like technology. It's like the technology of a long gone society, where once it's gone, you realize now you miss it, and you realize there's no one around. The knowledge and the people are gone to bring it back. And you wonder, what was the foundation, the lattice framework that was holding up these things I took for granted? Like safe streets and things. Let me show you what's happening with Korean men. And I'm going to have an interesting segment with Bill the engineer next week. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to be having Bill on more often. It's going to be great. Korean men, interesting thing going on. The American sickness is really in a lot of countries, a lot of these advanced Western to like semi, quasi-Western. I don't know what I'm saying with that. Korean women. Let me tell you something about traditional roles in Korea and what all this complaining, the little things all this complaining might get you, are just totally outweighed by the hold on. Sorry, where was I? This totally outweighed by the negatives.
Some Korean men are refusing to help women. A few days ago, a woman in her 20s lost consciousness and fainted when she was on the subway. Apparently, there were a bunch of men in their 20s and 30s who refused to help, and saying something to the extent of, "It has nothing to do with me," which got the women on the internet pissed. According to the Korean woman, the reason being, all able-bodied Korean men have to serve military service. They do learn CPR in the military. So it was expected for men in their 20s and 30s who likely just got out of the military to jump in and help because they know how to do CPR. But a lot of the men on the train didn't. And their reason being, they did not want to be accused of sexual harassment. There were a few incidents where men were actually accused for sexual harassment, for trying to help the women. Back in 2014, a South Korean woman had actually tried to sue a male EMT paramedic for doing CPR and doing chest compressions on her. Although the paramedic wasn't charged or convicted with anything, since he was reported, he still had to go through an investigation. There was also another story shared of a Korean guy going up the steps in the subway station, and there was a woman in front of him seemingly about to fall. He put out his hands and tried to grab her from the back to prevent her from falling. The girl freaked out and called the police on him, and he ended up in the police station. That being said, these are all the men's side of the story. They'd rather be a bystander than getting their names tainted with SA. This all seems a little crazy to me. I mean, I get it if you don't want to touch the person because you don't know what's going on. At least call for help. What do you think?
Look, that's 2 cases. Now, I don't know the deets. Maybe there's more. But she mentioned out 2 cases. 2 cases that got a lot of attention probably over there in Korea. But that's all it took. And, of course, you got to add to it the general culture of let's put it all under this umbrella term of, cancel culture, etc., for lack of a better term. Angry people telling you what to say, men being influenced, like, on top of the 2 cases, the whole framework of you can't criticize women, and if you do, you might get canceled. And on top, you have that ingredient, add 2 cases, that could have been more, but 2 cases that got big attention in Korea. Men are now refusing to help women, and I don't know to what level and extent. I'm dramatizing a bit for the point because I don't really know, But I just want to point out the negatives are way worse. Okay, look, you got something now they call trans widows. They're calling them trans widows. And it's exactly how it sounds. Except, wait, hold on. No, it's not exactly how it sounds, because that sounds like someone who became trans and also became a widow. No, not exactly. It's a woman who... Wait, am I muted? Hold on. Test. Y'all are being able to hear me right now? Intense stuff. I agree. Check it out. Trans widows. A woman married to a man who then decided to become trans. And that man now believes that he is a woman.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces.
That's the son, right? Second child, 2014. That's her husband in the picture. You're following?
Faces, bright and early for their daily.
Look at her face. Transition. Let's 1.4 million likes on TikTok.
Races go.
And she does this face. She does one of these like, well, can't be that bad. Well, this is my life now. I'm not a bigot. And then it just repeats with this music on it. It's crazy. Like, I'm wondering, I see this every now and then. I don't know. I don't know if guys, the show's growing. I'm getting a bunch of haters. This is cool. I see this every now and again, you know? And these women, I always wonder, it's like, do they stay? Do they stay because they feel like, what, are they bullied into staying because it's just bigoted otherwise? Or are some of them even Christian or something? You can't divorce. You're not supposed to. That's the husband, Kaya. This one on the left is the husband. This is the trans widow over here. I don't know if this person even calls themselves that, but she is a widow. Her husband died. You know, they even say a dead name. And I'm being hyperbolic, you know. And I'm also stealing that from Elon Musk, who said that about his son who became trans. My son died. But her husband died. She is a widow. And everything beyond this is pretending. There's no reason to stay here. What is this? Not a marriage. There's nothing here. This is not a marriage. What is she staying with? She's staying with what? The family's broken. It's already broken. So I don't know if the Christians are like, I shouldn't, or if it's the liberal women and they're thinking, I don't know, this is who she is now, and blah blah blah. I'm seeing the ladies post this all over social media, and they're saying stuff like this. For example, this Dr. Sydney Wasson is saying trans widows don't nearly get enough attention. So many women are bullied into staying in their relationships after their husband transitions because they're made to feel guilty and transphobic if they leave. They're told that you fall in love with the person, not their anatomy, as if heterosexuality doesn't mean anything. Honestly, it makes me so sad for these women. They either have to lie to themselves to keep their family together, or they get attacked for leaving. Nobody wins. But here's the thing. Look, we can all agree it's intense. They don't have to stay. Here's what I'm trying to say. This wouldn't happen. Look, this wouldn't happen so much if you didn't hate masculinity, okay? Because look, now it's about women again. Now it's about, no, it's not about, it's about the attack on men. And because she doesn't have to stay here. She's staying in this false marriage, telling herself, I'm keeping my family together. Some ego thrill, she told herself. Or I'm going to get attacked for leaving. Another ego thrill and fear, living in fear. That has nothing to do with she's not a victim. You know what I'm saying? She is in her, again, even this trans widow stuff, even this person is in a prison of their mind and a prison within themselves. Her world remains her own. This person's world remains their own. They have their problems. And it's a shame, sure, the kids are the ones that suffer. But hey, I don't know what to tell you folks. The kids have been suffering for thousands of years, okay? Getting it right is a little bit of a different story. And you can't get it right. You can't ever get it right with all your trying in this messed up, broken family. You got to go within and figure yourself out. And then maybe you could help the children and beyond yourself. But you're never going to fix anything like this. Staying in this and going. It's a thrill, too. You're in this mental. She's in her own prison, if she's even thinking of herself like some kind of trans widow. And so that's even a term that shouldn't even exist. Trans widow. How about get up? How about get up and walk? You know what I'm saying? How about get up and walk? Yeah, look at the look she's giving him like, huh, no way. Imagine that. Now the question arises though. I think we need Jesse for this one. I know you say leave the kids with the father. Where's the father? Chat. Which was the father? No, obviously, I don't even know. We'll leave that one for Jesse, huh? I don't know if that's like a trick question. I would answer anybody who disagrees with me. But this person doesn't want to disagree with me. They just want to yell the N-word on the thing. So turns out I was clicking the ban their number button, but turns out I had to click it twice. That's why I noticed they were calling with the same number. I was like, oh, I was being too quick. But it looks like they're totally gone. I can't see their number anymore because I clicked the ban button twice, buddy. Haters. This is cool, guys. I welcome disagreement. I welcome any. You call me right away. 844-900-2229. Let's get into it. Anything I've said so far you disagree with, would love to talk about it. In fact, I got a caller here. In fact, I believe we have a caller here. You're on the air.
Cool. 1 second. Sorry about that.
Is this Kyle?
How's it going, Nick?
What's up, Kyle?
Not much. I was just I was walking back from the store and totally got yelled at by a bunch of hooligans, youngsters, and they spooked me, and just thought that was funny.
Not the youngsters and hooligans. Were you going to a stupid place at a stupid time?
No, I was walking back from the store, like, next to my house, and some kid in a truck, like, yelled, or maybe it was a girl, and totally got me, spooked me.
What did they say to you?
No, they just went like, ah! Like,
oh,
it was
okay.
like crazy noise. And I get really scared. That's like a Massachusetts thing, I guess. Like, people yell out there late at night, like outside of their car, at people that are walking to kind of scare them and see if they can, like, scare them, I guess. I don't know. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
No, it is funny. I thought they yelled some words out, but it's just noises. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just noise. It's like a weird noise.
I remember once I was walking home from work and I was accosted by a group of hooligan girls. And they actually started.
Oh, no.
They tried fighting me. They actually tried fighting me.
No way.
It was crazy.
Where was that?
In Hamilton, Ontario. One of the skiddiest. Hey, and I say this with love, Hammer. It's not always skiddy. It's not always skids. But some areas of that city, it can be pretty skiddy. And I'm coming home from work late, and I'm walking through. I live near like the university, and they were in front of They were in front of their home. They were in front of their home. Oh man, have I ever said this story? What a mess. And
that's fine.
And they were like chirping me.
Oh,
there was
so
how do I put it?
A gang of girls.
So yeah, I'm coming home and they were walking in front of me, and one was saying something kind to me, and then her friend started saying a bunch of crazy things to me. Her friend was being all about. I had my headphones in. I never said anything to these girls. One of them turns around to me, starts saying kind things to me. So she's like, "Hey, I like your hair." Da da da. It was so random. And then her friends start going off about F your hair, F your face, you effing F get blah blah blah. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm starting to walk away. I don't know. What I should have said was absolutely nothing. What I should have said was nothing. Instead, what I said was,
you should have just sprinted. I would have sprinted away.
No, I wasn't afraid. But I mean, I didn't think they were going to come up to me. But what I should have said was absolutely nothing. Instead, what I said to them was, careful what you say to strangers, because now I know where you live. And they came at me. And I'm pushing them back. I'm like, I will beat you. I will hit you. I will hit. I'm telling them, I'm going to hit you. And then the other girl's like, okay, come on, let's go.
Dude.
I'm telling them, I'm going to hit you. And they're like scratching at me. It was crazy. That was the first time.
Yeah. I mean, viewers, that's a great way to handle that. Like, you gotta.
No, it wasn't. You should. I should have said nothing. I should have said absolutely nothing.
Like, just kept walking. Like, but what if those girls?
I never said anything to them at the outset. I never said anything to start a conversation, so I could have just let them talk.
That's insane. You're in college years or like high school years.
This was like
in Ontario or
in Hamilton, Ontario, pretty much high school, pretty much the end of high school. Just threatening them. Just throwing deadly threats at them, basically. Sometimes you got to throw out a little deadly threat,
You can't treat these thuggish girls with kid gloves. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, man! Because we had a few instances over here. I mean, we're like a small town outside of Boston. Like, oh man, yeah. Like you get those mean girls, or yeah, they act like men. You're like, oh no, that's a wild story. But all right, so
what you calling about?
All right, so the history of the FM radio. It started.
You were going to tell me about this yesterday.
Yes.
Let's hear it. FM radio and boomers.
Yes. So basically, in the early I'll start with this. The early 20th century, there's this thing that your viewers can look up. It's a real thing. It's called the Rite of Spring, and it was horrifying. It was like 1905 or something. I believe it was somewhere in Europe or Russia, but Stravinsky. So the Rite of Spring by Stravinsky. And there was an actual viewing of it. And this is when classical composure started to get discordian.
You said Costco composure?
Classical composure.
Classical composure.
Composers.
Oh, gotcha. Composers.
Yeah. Started to get corrupted. And
in what way?
It's reflected. Well, here's the thing. It used to be very beautiful. There's also a great man. I'm not going to mention him. He talks about this stuff, and it's basically like Rite of Spring. This is a good way for your viewers and for you to understand it, is Rite of Spring by Stravinsky. That kicked off the early 20th century. I don't know if it was viewed. I don't know if this happened in Russia or Europe. I'm almost positive it wasn't America, but yes, Stravinsky made this disgusting piece.
Just searching the Rite of Spring, there's all sorts of articles about why it was so controversial. Interesting, man. So a piece of classical music, a performance, a ballet, an orchestral concert work by this Stravinsky guy. I'm following. Thank you, man. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, it was so sickening. and this is before. I'm not a good historian. I don't remember when World War I was. I just remember when World War II started. But this like kicked off the era of letting classical music get destroyed and then get into rock and roll. The Stravinsky made this piece. There was everyone was screaming, fighting, and freaking out, like high blood pressure, freaking out at this concert, Rite of Spring by Stravinsky. Very disturbing stuff. And this is the early 20th century. So it's like, so that was like the beginning of the end.
Do you have any details on this performance piece or whatever? What made it so controversial? What had people screaming that way?
Well, I mean, with music, it's so basically classical music before that was very beautiful and very, like, people actually cared about creating these big complex classical pieces, and the musician was actually held up as much as a priest and as much as a leader of your nation. Like, it wasn't just Lady Gaga, obviously, or Jimmy Page or something. So it was I think it was tuned to I think it's a A440
440
as
hertz.
opposed to the other one, which I can't believe I.
You're saying
I
Rite of
forgot.
Spring was tuned to 440? Is that what you said? What was tuned to
that
440?
is what I said.
Sorry.
No. I think it was. I might be wrong on that. But no. The point with the classical composers before that were they actually cared about creating harmony in the composure, and that actually reverberated and was a reflection of the beautiful society. And this is the early 20th century. Now we have a guy, Stravinsky, creating this. It goes like this. It's like
like all dissonant, huh?
Very dissonant, yeah. So I'll start there.
Interesting,
man. But with the boomers and the rock and roll.
Can I jump in real quick before we get to the boomers? If I may expand on this a bit, and maybe even a little devil's avocado, because I mean, come on. I mean, dissonance is not. Stravinsky didn't create dissonance, did he? We've had dissonance. No, dissonant music. We've had dissonant in classical music going back to. Let me think of when Stravinsky. When was this Rite of Spring? Rite of Spring. What year was this? 1913, bro.
1913. Okay.
There are all sorts of classical pieces that use dissonance. It's called tension, dissonance. You first create the tension and the dissonance, and then you ease it by resolving the chord progression.
Right. But the Rite of Spring by Stravinsky didn't release the tension, and the people weren't ready for that.
Wow.
And they started fighting in the crowd. You can research that. Like, it's not.
Wow. That's
I'm not
actually
just
interesting.
talking out of my rear.
No, I believe you. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, I've been researching.
So he went. That was what he was innovative with. He didn't release the tension, and the hell rose in the audience to a physical level.
Yeah.
That's actually fascinating.
Yes. Horrible. Yeah, I thought it was really fascinating.
So what's this about the boomers?
So the boomers, I just want to say that Mick Jagger, John Lennon, and Jimmy Page are my biggest heroes. Just jokes, of course. Because I grew up on that crap, absolute smut. But yeah, I just think there's this like this way of, and this is gonna sound insane, but the Americans and the Soviets came together, from what I've gathered from like 10,000 hours of research, that the Cold War was really a war against Russians and Americans' minds. Based on my research, I know that sounds insane, but there's a lot.
Yeah, we might not be able to uncover that one in one call.
That's true. Yeah, I just want to say, "Strawberry Fields Forever" by the Beatles and "I Am the Walrus."
Yeah.
The music videos. Yeah, basically, so there's photic driving, which you guys can research, and there's weird tones in it that mess with you. There's people walking forwards and backwards and saying things. So basically, a neuro-linguistic programming called NLP. It's a real thing. It's been studied for hundreds of years. Basically, it's telling you to jump up and then jump down, or maybe I can do this and maybe I can't. And it's an "I Am the Walrus." It's "Strawberry Fields Forever" by the Beatles. But if you have other callers, I'll
No. I want to ask you something about this. Allow me to push back a little bit in what I've heard, and some of this is interesting. I've never heard it before. It's actually quite fascinating.
Basically, it confuses the psyche.
I got you.
It confuses the psyche.
So I want to start there. There. For example, on this notion of Stravinsky's innovation with dissonance, and then your point about that being kind of like a progenitor of future music being degenerate.
I would
simple.
not call. I would not call Stravinsky a innovator. I would call him a psychotic man that was like a product.
But he set in motion what we now have, this music that's empty, and it wasn't like how these people out there, like all these amazing German and composers, the Italians, making all this music that was about beauty and they cared about something.
Yeah.
Some of these people did it for God.
All of our ancestors. Everyone's ancestors used to make better music.
Who did 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, what's that? 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, Joy of Man's Desiring. Who did that one? Bach. He said he did that song. He said he composed everything for God. So I got you. I'm following on the point, and that what Stravinsky set off. But on that notion, music,
he didn't necessarily set it off. He didn't necessarily set it off.
Nitpicking on timelines, exact meanings here. What I'm trying to get to is, the notion put forth is that now the music today has nothing of that. But I think I honestly believe that if Bach or some of those people were alive today, they would hear some of the music, not all of it, but they would hear some of the music, even music recently. I honestly believe they'd hear some of that thing and they would go, "That's what I was trying to do." They would say, and I'm talking just musically for a second here, just musically speaking on musical theory and innovation and dissonance and tension. I honestly think that Bach or someone would look at. I'm trying to think of. I was actually listening to a song the other day. But they would look at some of the tension and progressions and stories told by some of the songs today, and I honestly believe they would say, "That's what I was trying to get at, but you said it's way simpler than I did." That's amazing, I honestly think they would be impressed.
I know where you're coming from. Like at the end of the day,
a lot of classical stuff is in today's music, and there's still a lot of people who care. There's still people who make music today, and they're really standing on those shoulders of giants, and they haven't destroyed said framework. Honestly, and I'd say it's some of the most mainstream stuff. I'm not thinking of any esoteric or underground band either. I'm talking about some of these mainstream producers and musicians.
No, I know where you're coming from. I like a lot of indie, and I like every genre. And I think our, millennials and my generation, like, whatever, like there's a lot of good stuff. Like, people are passionate again about music, And for sure, like some of these older guys that my point was was more about the bloodiness of the 20th century.
Yeah.
A lot of that came from the corruption of classical music, is what I was saying. I'm not saying that music is dead or something.
I gotcha.
If
Interesting.
that makes sense.
No, I'm totally following you. We're understanding each other more and more. That's the point I wanted to make. I'm hearing you on what you're saying. The violence of that was even kind of allowed into the psyche and the culture of the peoples that eventually would have this crazy violence. I'll say this. I don't know. I just seem to notice that our entertainment and our art always just kind of reflects us. So when you see Rachmaninoff, when you listen to Rachmaninoff and all those Russian composers, I think you really just hearing in a visceral form what they were living through, and or the shadow of communism they were living in, and all that. You're hearing it through their music. I don't know if they were really the progenitors of it. They're just the mirrors to it. So you're seeing now.
I don't know of that composer.
Rachmaninoff, but and just that kind of classical music that came out of that Russia, the Russia you're talking about.
That makes sense. I just don't know of that composer at all. But like that makes sense though. Yeah, like. Yeah.
So what do you think Stravinsky did then? So do you think this was a deliberate plan to
attempt to
destroy something?
Corrupt culture, yeah. I truly believe that. To bring on World War II. And
so he hated the Russians?
What? No.
I'm sorry, Stravinsky didn't make his music.
I have plenty of Russian friends.
Not you. Did Stravinsky wanted to hate? Not you. Did Stravinsky hate the Russians or something? That's why he wanted to ruin their culture.
No, I think he was like. I think he's basically a product of the destruction of classical composery. Like. Pretty clear, and like it brought on a lot of bloodshed all over the world. Like that level of classical composers going from beautiful, harmonious things to dissonant, no release, no release, no release, and that's not like prior to that, composers like. That would never have happened before that. So,
well, it sounds like you've made your points on this, and I'm definitely thinking about it, man. Anything else you want to say on this, or new you want to say on this before we move the wheels?
Yeah, I just want to say.
How does this relate to the boomers?
Well, I just think, there's. I just think, fucking. Crap. I swear.
That's okay. It's okay. Apology accepted.
I am the walrus. Like looking at the Beatles and how they worship the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. Then it goes to Ozzy Osbourne. Then it goes to David Bowie before that. And then they go to Slayer. And then here we are with Lady Gaga. Just kind of like think about like the music that you're consuming a little bit. That's all.
Interesting, man.
Real.
I heard about dads who were. I've heard about dads who were just inconsolable when Freddie Mercury, when all the like gay stuff. They were like, no, it's impossible. And also, I remember I used to say I would listen to like dark and angry music growing up.
Hey, Nick, it's impossible.
It's just no way. He got that from something else. I used to, and to add to your point, then we'll move on. I used to listen to like dark and angry music growing up, and I would just say, it's just for the beat, Mom. I don't care about, it's just, but I became dark and angry. It totally did influence, in a sense, influence me. It's probably deeper than that, but it's funny how we'd say that growing up. We'd be like, "I'm just listening for the beat, Mom. You don't know, you know what I'm saying?" Like, but it's not. You're listening.
Get out of my room.
Get out of my room.
To Linkin Park,
I'm not
Mom.
angry. I'm not satanic just because I'm listening to metal. But it's like, yeah, you are. You are satanic, you little demon. You're angry.
It's so fun.
Hey, man, Kyle, call me again, sir.
Absolutely. Have a nice night.
Thank you, sir. David Morgan, are you calling me right now? Is this you calling me? It says your name. We're listening to Rachmaninoff. Wait, is this actually David Morgan calling me? I think it's that troll. Vanessa, you're on the air. Vanessa?
Oh, hi.
Hey, what's up, Vanessa?
Hi. Hi, good afternoon. So I was listening to you gentlemen talk about classical music.
Oh, no way. What's up, Vanessa?
Yeah, hi.
I think I recognize you a little bit, but I won't dox. Hey, welcome to the stream.
You already know, huh?
A pleasure, an absolute pleasure, and an honor.
Likewise.
All right, go ahead.
So, while I was listening to you guys, and I'm infatuated with classical music and so the roots of it, and they were actually breaking it down. And when we think about, about philosophy, and you think about religion, and there was like a breakaway where people were kind of going away from religion into philosophy, and so you start thinking about nihilism. And so when music was made, it was to adore God, the creator. So it was reflective of creation, of beauty, of, adoration. And then you go start to this nihilism, and it's like this philosophy of kind of like take off those rose-colored glasses. So then that's why you have the dissonance, and like you have chaos, and like you don't want order anymore. So now you're rejecting the creator, you're rejecting God, and you're rejecting truth, because now you're just wrapped up in man's ideas of opinions of myths, and I don't know. And it's, I don't know if you've been, but there's this awesome museum. It's called the Museum of Jurassic Technology in Culver City. And if you really want to dive deep into that, it'll blow.
That sounds awesome. Go on.
It is so. Oh, please go. And I mean, like.
Yo, museum stream chat. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I was asking chat if they want to do a museum stream. But go ahead. You were saying?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that sounds like Animal Crossing too. I don't know if any of you.
Shout out Animal Crossing.
Museum. Shout out, right? Yeah, but anyways, I just thought it was so fascinating. I just want to weigh it in, and I don't know, and think in your take. I don't know.
No, I mean everything you said is interesting.
is that?
It's interesting that everything you just said can. So what you're saying is that all that can be, it can come out through music, the same way. Right. The adoration of God that they were attempting for could come out in that way as well.
Yeah, and then because I was listening to the gentleman that was on the call with you, and the line of the artist that he was naming, actually, I mean, that does come from, you know, obviously Satanism, Luciferianism, and it's interesting that he ended with Lady Gaga. You know what I mean? Like, because there's that song, that Judas song, which is like, it's openly, like, obviously we all know that, but
yeah.
Anyways, Taylor Swift.
Oh,
pop.
true.
Anyways.
Do you
I'm
think,
gushing and I shouldn't.
do you agree with me, just musically speaking, would you agree with me that with my impression, or I don't know, theory, that if we were to revive like Bach or something, that he would actually be pretty impressed with some music today? And he would listen and be like, that's what I was getting at. You guys like went past me and finished what I was trying to get at, you know, musically.
Well, dude, remember though? Okay, and I know nobody wants to talk about him, but like when P. Diddy was Puff Daddy, he did the Godzilla thing, you know, with Jimmy Page, the I think it's like a Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
What was it? So we do have that, and I think there's always this resurgence, right, of classical music and putting it in to into new music and remixing it. I mean, we have all that, so it's like it's really it's the heart of it, right? Because it's like it's not even just exposure of like this old classical music. It's really the heart of it. I mean, just look at the context of what we're even reading, or like what we're even wanting to, how to shape ourselves, you know. And that breakaway starts to become very shallow and superficial, you know. And it's I don't know. It's just, I mean, it is what it is. We want evil things, which is super vapid, you know, just superficial, just to kick around. And I even know, like, I need to go on my Kamala Harris. I do word salads.
I'm following that. For some reason, I'm following though. I'm following every moment. Hey, about this, would you go on? You were gonna say something?
No, please.
About this, would you say? What was I gonna say? So would you say that this Stravinsky guy wanted evil things? With all that dissonance, all that hell he put in his music, or what?
Well, isn't that in his soul? And isn't every artist, that's what we do? Like any good art that is going to like have like reverb with anybody, is have that vibration with anybody, is like when you're being true to yourself. So the things that you're even thinking about, the things that you know of, like, I'm not from Canada, right? So like if I started doing stuff about what it is to be Mexican in Canada, like it's gonna be inauthentic to me. Like it's not gonna seem right, you know. If you do it, that's something different. I can tell you what it is to go up in LA as, you know, a Mexican American. I never even crossed over the border really like that, you know. But if I make artwork like that, but not trying to make artwork about me being over the border. I've never been to Mexico, so, and you have a lot of artists that were like Latin with an X that want to put themselves in spaces that it's like, yo, maybe your grandma was doing that. You know what I mean? But not you. And it just becomes so cookie cutter superficial, and it's just so superficial. And it's just like, why do you think we have so many black fists raised up when we're doing any type of like activism art? You know what I mean? It's like this symbol where it's this, I don't know.
We're forcing everything. No, I mean, you're seeing people now. I agree. Like, I feel like people were trying to do that in the race mixing conversation yesterday. And it's like, I get it. Like, ain't nothing wrong with being with your own. But the people back then, they didn't have to go around making it a thing and telling people you got to be with your own. They were just doing that naturally, right? So the people now, it's like you said, like maybe your grandma was doing it, but you have no clue why they were doing it. And here you are trying to force things. It's crazy. Vanessa, anything else you want to say about this before we move the wheels?
No, that was awesome. I was just about to say too, like, yeah, you're forcing it. When you force it, it's not real, it's not natural, it's not organic, and yeah. Anyways, Rad, I could talk to all of y'all, and especially you, as long as the cows come home. But anyways.
Hey, thank you for calling my show, Vanessa. I think first time, right?
Hey, yes, sir. That's cool. Right.
Call me again.
Bless. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Hey, thanks for the ride.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Kick back.
All right. God bless. Bye.
I'm a man of 1,000 helping hands. I am not beyond the sacred or sycophantic rants.
We are getting close to the run to LAX, folks.
And I'm all made of a wilderness exposed. Is this lack of wisdom better than a charismatic soul?
Your ears are probably popping. We are starting our descent.
Do I have power? Do I have power? Do I have power over it? Do I have power? Do I have power? Do I have any power over it?
We're gonna land this thing, okay? I've been getting way too lax. The last two landings. You know how we turned on realism quite a while ago at this point now, and we turned on the setting that should you stress the plane either descend or ascend way too fast, the plane flies too fast, or you hit a runway or anything too hard, the simulation will end and tell you that you crashed and died. And so we've been doing okay. We've been doing pretty great. We've had nothing but back-to-back landings using realism. But these last two landings, I don't know. I was just like unaware, and I'm like, we'll hit. We were coming in. Our angle of attack was pretty nasty, but I'm like, we gotta land this thing. We gotta end the show. And I slam into the runway without a care, thinking, we'll just do a soul plane landing. We'll bounce off. The front wheel will bounce off like we're soul plane. Yeah. That killed us twice. So we're gonna land this thing. We're gonna do it slow. And if I have any inkling that while we're coming in for our approach, that I'm not feeling safe, I'm not feeling like we should land this, we're pulling back up when we're doing a go around, and we're gonna go around until we get it right. I mean, that's how a pilot is supposed to operate. But hey, Lord Spike Protein, whoa, thank you, sir. Back to back, you're already sitting in the prime baller seat, man. You're already there. Thank you so much, man. You're always so generous, supporting the show. Leo Gonzalez, thank you for your earlier super chat. You are sitting in the first class section. I know you are. Flight attendants made sure to get you. He says, pause on the guy sitting in his pickup and tell me his tank ain't full of sugar. Wait, what are you talking about? Pause on the guy sitting in his pickup. Thank you, Leo Gonzalez. The Ballers Lounge, where there is neither male or female, Jew nor Gentile, only baller or not a baller. Very cool. Thank you for the support. Games for Rec and GG Cash, top supporters and contributors on D Live. Make your way to that. You're already sitting in the Ballers Lounge. Games for Rec. Grab GG Cash. Don't leave him back there with the milieu. We love the milieu. We love the economy class, but go get GG Cash. Bring him to the first class. If you want to call the anchor baby, 844-900-2229. Let's get into something else here. Let's check our approach though. We are descending. As you can see, all those little waypoints is our approach. Look, let's get closer. This is our approach into the runway 25 right at LAX. And basically around this point, I think around Sellers or Flojo, which are the names of these waypoints, we pretty much have to switch gears and kind of focus. So here's what we'll do now, though. We got some time. Where were we? We were talking about trans widows. We're talking about some trans widows and stuff last at Amazing Callers. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. Oh, and buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Let's check the Buy Me a Coffees. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, let's see here. So, where were we? I guess we're talking about women and trans widows and stuff. And I guess I'll say this since we're just to finish off any more stories on this. You're welcome to call in about anything you want to call in about. But we'll tie it off with all this about women and and just how evil, and what the cost of weak men is just too great. The cost of emotional weak men. We could talk about women all day, but the cost of weak emotional men is the end. It's the apocalypse. And we were talking about relationships a little bit the other day, keeping the peace and stuff. That day I was saying I have never met a couple that really likes each other. I know it sounded black-pilled. It's like, well, Nick, that sounds so black-pilled and dark. What are you talking about? Maybe I wasn't expressing myself. So we'll do this short. I'm not planning on spending too much time on this, but all I was saying is that no one holds a special place in someone's mind the way that they think they do. And if they do, it's temporary. Because what is like? Fans. That's what like is. It's a fan. Fans won't tell you the truth. Fans won't be honest. Fans will like everything you do with no question. And usually the people that you spend time with, your wife, your girlfriend, they don't. And the men do this too. They put forth this image that we're fans. We're fans of each other, but you're not. And so all I was saying was like, don't, get over that, and that won't be so much of a surprise when you realize that. Because that's not love anyways. A guy that wants to be liked can't love. You're going to trip when you find out that you're not liked the way you think you are liked. That's just your ego. What is like? Who are you? Just to crystallize that a bit. I'm just saying, all I was saying is that we're wrong for wanting, we are wrong. The individual, not the other person. We're wrong for expecting and wanting to be loved and liked by the world that way. And I was saying there's no real relationship. Look, not all, but most. But even in that framework, of maybe most marriages are false, there still exists decent and fine mothers and fathers, So it's not like, you guys got to understand my scale. I might have to draw it out for you one day. I'll have to draw it out. That's what we'll have to do. We're going to have to graph this out. Then you'll understand where I'm coming from. But shout out to the mothers and wives in my own chat. I see you guys in my chat, and I never mention it, but I do think it's really cool. Shout out to the moms and the wives in my chat who are listening to Bond and working on themselves, and the husbands too. There's husbands in the chat too. I never mention it. I've talked about marriage all like I'm not even married, so maybe I've said crazy things, but I just want to shout you guys out because it's cool to see people working on themselves. You'll hear about women and they got a husband that isn't necessarily working on themselves. Yeah, you can be a light even there. You can be a total light, and it has nothing to do with obeying or not obeying. You would still obey that man because you're married, and you basically obey up until you can't. It goes until you can't, until it's like obvious that you can. You'll know that for yourself if you're working on yourself. So yeah, even in my framework, there still exists decent and good wives and fathers and all that can still raise a decent enough family. So we'll graph it out one day, but I'm telling you, emotional, look, you don't want it. I don't think, ladies, you guys, you don't want it, right? An emotional male. There's this post that went viral with the ladies. This guy deleted his post for getting all sorts of negative attention over it, but this guy posted on X, "My first is 8 weeks old. I can see why men cheat at this time. My wife completely ignored my existence for the first few weeks, and we had to have arguments to get her to even acknowledge me, not to mention be intimate. That's the biggest challenge. Baby is easy." You got a lot of negative attention for this. But what's funny about this is there's a lot of women also defending him. How do I put this? Because he deleted this post. But for example, this is a woman on X. She says, "Why is everyone acting like he's horrible? Your wife completely ignoring you seems pretty bad. If my partner completely ignored me for weeks on end and wouldn't even acknowledge me, I'd probably have a mental breakdown." Look at this guy. Look at this guy responding to this. "Dude is being honest, and these replies are harsh. This is a very difficult stretch for men who still have a sex drive. Maybe some of you are better off with low T losers. What a mess. Ladies, this is about sex. I'll tell you that first of all. Positive affirmation from betas. Yo, Carver with a base. Look, I was about to say the same thing Carver says. Your wife not bothering you is the best part of having a kid. It's like, dude, I've always been kind of like this. I've always been kind of like I entertain myself and do my own thing. Like, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. Like, I've learned how to build my own ego world or something. So I feel like that's so true. Like, I would feel the same way. Like, your wife not bothering you. But yeah, no, honey, love the kid. Do you think? This guy just wants sex. This is not love. This guy just wants his mama. He wants attention. My first is 8 weeks old. This is also what I was saying about like. You know, this happened. I hear this happens a lot with mothers. And so the men, they would get, back in the day, you would just go cheat and ST and shut the F up. That is hilarious too. And the women wouldn't like threaten divorce if you went and did that and they found out. It's like, geez. All right, calm down. Playing around a little bit. But where was I? This is not the kind of stuff you want to put out. This is like the manhood we were talking about earlier, the resilience. It's not whiskey. It's what you can let go, what you can do without. And you're just more useful that way. When you stay on that path, you're just endlessly useful. And this woman, what she needs is the opposite of what this guy said. So, look, it's like, and then the women defending this, they're just justifying their own twisted form of love. That's why Jesse Lee Peterson says, if you wondered why, never, ever, ever, ever listen to a woman. Okay. Yeah, Terry, men need to hide that stuff. It's not modest. You're putting out your trauma. It's like what we were talking about, Terry. Trauma dumping, evil. It's evil. Telling your people your problems, evil. You're just putting out your trauma, and then you're just putting out more hell into the world. And now it's like a net positive for hell. That's all you did. We need to normalize shoving down our feelings and fears and everything deep under the rug, shoving. And I say that as a joke. You're really not shoving down anything. There's nothing to shove down. There's nothing to be resilient against. I'm going to be resilient with these feelings and pain. I'm going to shove it down. There's nothing to be resilient about. It's just memories. It's just thoughts. It's not real. Bottle it up, kids. Yeah. But anyways, shout out to Fat Joe's wife. Can we shout out Fat Joe's wife for a second? Can we shout out Fat Joe for a second? Who is not so fat lately these days. I would say Fat Joe is maybe not so fat these days. You know, he's just Joe. He's just kind of Joe lately, which is fine. That's fine, right? He's got kids. He's got a wife or something like that. So Joe, why are we shouting him out? I really haven't seen this, so maybe this is totally random and maybe it's not going to hit. But I just heard that he went on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp, and he was talking about how the mother of his children wanted him to give up. What basically said, it's either me. They had like a kid with Down syndrome or something like that, or autism. And she was like, it's me or him.
I'd be like, nah, you know what? I'm all right. I'm good.
Yeah.
We make our own movies. Don't worry about that. I don't need that fake shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, you got to be careful.
Your son has autism.
Yeah, Down syndrome and autism. Yes, sir. Little Joey. When he was born, first of all, me and his mother wasn't together.
Okay.
Right? We were together, broke up. I knew I did not want to be with this woman.
Mm-hmm.
It was before rap. I'm at my mother's house. It's one of them rainy days, them days that, it's rainy, and she walked.
Chat, I don't know, folks. I'm doubting past me for saving this clip. I'm doubting past me. I'm judging past me. I don't know, folks. A little bit more.
Get in the building. I said, fuck it. Let's rekindle our old flame. She gets
Lean
pregnant
back.
with no disrespect because
He's just Joe now. It's not Fat Joe.
my son Joey.
That's a joke.
Let her know I do not want to be with you. Maybe we should have this abortion because I don't want to. She was, oh, this is my baby. I got to have it. This, it's really up to the woman. So she pretty much forces me to have this baby. I'm only like 19.
How could someone force you to have a baby? What? Oh, because he got her pregnant and she didn't want to do the abortion thing. Yeah. Guys, you hear about it. It's not untrue. They'll be.
And when he's born, the doctor
they be asking them to get an abortion.
Hey, I got bad news to tell you. He showed us his hands, his feet. He said he got Down syndrome. He's gonna be a
What's up, Marty Ubaldo? Thank you.
Challenge. I'm there with my mother, my father, and his mother. And his mother was like, yo, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to give him up for adoption. And my mother was like, you crazy bitch. Like, you ain't giving up my fucking like.
Anyways, past me must have been drunk or hot. No, I'm trying to make a joke. Past me was not in his right mind or something. That we're moving on from that. It's not that interesting. Check this check this insect beating machine out. Check out this device that traps insects and then beats them with sticks like a gang initiation. How about this? It's an insect beat. It's a bug beating machine. Wait, we need music for this.
All you gotta do.
Not this. Yeah, we need a song. We need music for this. Hold on. Hey, why you coming in the wrong neighborhood? You in the wrong neighborhood, Roach. Hey, where your grandma stay, Roach? Huh? What side of the house your grandma from, huh, Roach? You in the wrong cupboard, boy.
Harder than an erection that shows no affection. They want to ban us on Capitol Hill. Cause it's die, motherfuckers, die, motherfuckers. All along it was a ghetto. Nothing but the ghetto. Taking short steps, one
You on the wrong side of the fridge, boy.
foot at a time and keep my head low. And never let go. Cause if I let go, then I'll be spineless. I'm going insane. I think my mind just goes out of control and touch on
It's not even gonna kill the roach. It's not even gonna like kill the bugs. It's just like let's just leave them a message. Let's let them go back. Let's leave them a message. Is what this is. Where your grandma stay, huh, Roach? All right, we are getting close to Floho. Look at that virtual sun, beautiful flat Earth. I don't know. I see a curve. I think I see a curve. And we're flying Trump Force 1. Absolutely beautiful. What mountain range are we flying over? Let's check the charts. Let's go jump into Navigraph. I know someone asked earlier. Do we have our flight plan set up? Let's see here. Yes, we do. Let's import it. Let's import our flight plan from DFW to LAX. Now we shall see where we are. Very cool. We're actually flying Navigraph. Navigraph is a cool service. It lets you fly real charts. These are all like it's called ARAC, which is a constantly updating database of all these departures, approaches, runways. And we're running the latest ARAC. And so these are all updated charts. Although, when you use Navigraph, they do give you the They put a little disclaimer not to be used as, like, don't go around navigating a real plane with this, they say. But we are using AirAC, and we're on the latest AirAC. We're in Navigraph, and we are, where are we? Albuquerque, flying over Albuquerque airspace. And where are we? Lake Havasu City. Flying over Arizona. Lake Havasu City. In fact, we are very close to it. And what we're looking at is, we are in fact looking at what is this called? Hualapai Mountains. Hualapai Mountains. That's this right over here. The Hualapai or Hualapai, whatever, National Park. Hualapai Peak is like this one over here or something like that. Whichever is the tallest. It's either that one or that one. One of these is my guess. Hualapai Peak. So that's cool. That's what that is over there. Las Vegas is up that way. Las Vegas is over there. I believe that's Vegas. Let's check our chart here. Yep. Vegas. Oh, that's actually, is this Vegas? Bullhead City. Wait, hold on. It might not be Vegas exactly. That might be Bullhead City. That might actually be Bullhead City right up there. Vegas is past over there in the horizon, kind of farther up. Quite a ways up that way. That away. I could be wrong. That could very well be Las Vegas, but that's a little bit of where we are. Does the plane even have an interior view? You mean like this view? Or do you mean like this view? How do we get there? How do we get to that view? Is it this? 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 Nope. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Nope. How do we get there? I forgot how to do it, but I have a view set up where you could be where it's basically the view of the camera is, I've been trying to get that going. Everything is fake. I've been trying to kind of figure all that out, but I do have one camera view that is like looking out the window that's next to the wing of the plane. So we have that view somehow, but I forget how to do it. So yeah. Flight's going beautifully. We'll make our way. This will be our approach pattern. Starts over here, Floho. But we are descending. That's why your ears are popping. Nice. Okay, so we'll let that go. We'll let that keep going there. Trump Force One. Chong, you watching? Hey. All right, so let's see here. Let's get into something else. What was I going to get into? Bug beating. Ain't a Trump rally on right now? Is that true? Because that'd be kind of nice to watch. Because I kind of need to focus on some stuff. Live, Donald Trump hosts MAGA rally in Michigan. This is kind of the perfect thing to distract you guys a bit while I prepare final things
Amazon fall favorites are
for our approach into LAX. Nick, you okay, bruh?
Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more.
The live event has not started yet. Wait. Trump rally. Trump rallies following Al Smith dinner.
It's 10 days from when you first contact them. So they're really the pros in the business. If you start today, you can delay 2 of your mortgage payments. So why not call them tomorrow? Oh, it's a weekend? Call them Monday, whatever it might be.
Hey, chat, veg out to this a little bit, okay? I won't be gone too long. I'm just getting the final things ready for the cockpit here. Flight attendants, prepare the cabin for our approach, for landing. And just watch this a little bit, okay? Trump's not on stage yet, in fact, so sorry, it's boring, but be right back.
Get them on the phone. Call American Financing today at 888-402-0299. That's 888-402-0299. AmericanFinancing.net/RSBN.
And if you're somebody who is just dead set on the fact that President Donald J. Trump is going to win this election, you can actually bet on it with our friends at 𝒂𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. They offer the very first legal exchange where you can trade on real events. And for the first time in over 100 years, they were approved to list markets. It's now legal to trade on the election in the United States of America. You can trade on the presidency, who will control the House, the Senate, swing states as well. And if you're someone who's just curious, you want to find out where the odds are, where Americans are putting their money, well, check it out. 𝒂𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒎, K-A-L-S-H-I, the first regulated marketplace of its kind. Last I checked, President Trump's still winning by a landslide. 𝒂𝒑𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒑𝒠.com/RSBN is where you can get more information and view the real-time statistics that'll give you an idea who's going to win this race.
Absolutely. It's just like the greatest Super Bowl of all time, this 2024 presidential election. And in so many of the stadiums or facilities that we visit, you'll often see on the scoreboard 2024, 45, and 47, all celebrating the life and the perseverance, the courage of Donald John Trump, the boy from Queens who grew up and took over his dad's business and created a business empire in real estate and development, bigger and better than anyone else ever did. He went to Manhattan, he changed skylines for the better, and he's changed our country for the better. So we're grateful for him and all that his family is enduring in this process. A man who took a bullet for democracy. He's ready to save America once again with a great team around him. Well, Christina, it was such a joy to share this with you today in Detroit Rock City. And as we jet set on to our next locations, we're excited to see your coverage in North Carolina, and I think you have Vegas coming up and a few others, and I'll be off to North Carolina myself and then down to the Peach State once again of Duluth, Georgia. Exciting, but don't miss any of the coverage this weekend in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, as President Trump crisscrossing this great country of ours. Well, for the lovely, classy Christina Loren, we'll send it back to the magnificent Matthew Alvarez in studio live in Auburn, Alabama. God bless you and good night.
All right, Bobby, thank you so much. Christina Loren there live in Detroit, Michigan. President Trump saying, quote, fight, 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 vote, vote, vote.
Folks, we are approaching LAX. Thank you for the patience. We are very close here, so we're going to have flight attendants coming down to get the cabin ready for landing, trays up, all your laptops put away and all that. All right, folks, thank you so much hope you've been enjoying the show so far. Kick back a little bit while we get ready for this landing. Strap in, folks. We're going manual. I don't trust it. We're a little fast. We're a little fast. Speed brakes. All right, that's good. Looking good. Thank you so much for being with us, folks. Strap in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Squirrely. But we did it. Almost off the runway. So we're alive, folks. Amazing. Incredible stuff, folks. Your local time is 6:30 p.m. Whoa, why can't you see? Oh, you couldn't see the landing? Look at us, we're alive, we're okay. Did you see none of that? Let me back up the. We're alive, okay? Aaron. I did not cheat. I did not cheat. I did not cheat. I did not cheat. I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat. We landed that puppy. I didn't cheat. I did not cheat. No, no. Not only did I not cheat. Not only did I not cheat. You got to take this in. Chat, you got to take this in. Not only did I not cheat, I just noticed that we did something amazing. And we did it with realism settings. We landed with no landing gear. We did this with no landing gear. So we did an emergency landing. We skidded on the belly of the plane. And this is on realism settings. So we did not break apart. We're probably on fire in real life, if this was real life. But I didn't even notice. I landed this thing with no landing gear, folks. Tell me I'm not an amazing pilot. Hopefully I filmed that too. Hopefully this is recorded in my back end. Cause I'm gonna post this. No! People are saying I'm a phony. I'm telling you, there's no way. How can I? What cheat exists? What cheat exists to do this? We landed with no landing gear, folks. Your local time is 6:30 p.m. I hope you enjoyed today's show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Make sure that on your way out, you thank our lovely flight attendants. You can say no to the offers of credit cards and all that. Just say no nicely. Make sure that when you open up the overhead compartments, that you are careful, as they may have shifted in the course of our journey here. And as always, we appreciate your continued patronage here with the Anchor Baby Airlines. As we know, you have so many options to fly. I appreciate it, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thanks for being with me today. Amazing show, amazing calls and everything. Let me check the super chats real quick before I go, because you got a weekend ahead of you. I will see you all Sunday. And that's it from me, y'all. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Appreciate it.